Well, National Police Commissioner Fannie Masemola is expected to respond to some of KwaZulu-Natal Police Commissioner Madlanga Commission's allegations when he appears before the Madlanga Commission of Inquiry in Pretoria this morning. They include alleged lack of communication on the disbandment of the KwaZulu-Natal Political Killings Task Team. Masemola will be the second witness after Mkhwanazi, who testified for 3 solid days starting on Wednesday last week. Well, let's cross over to SABC News anchor Ayanda Nyati and SABC News reporter Kani Mapanga. They are there in Pretoria at the venue, and we can get a better understanding as to what we can expect today. Ayanda, good morning to you.
Good morning, Leanne. Great to see you as always. And yes, we are bright and early, already coming to you live from the Bridget Mabanda Justice College in Pretoria. That's where day 4 of the Madlanga Commission of Inquiry probing political interference, criminality and abuse in the criminal justice system is set to continue. And of course, as you've mentioned, we heard from Mkhwanazi, and whether it's his July 6th briefing or the time he spent in the hot seat here at this commission, he's really laid bare and made it clear that there are at the very least fractures within the SAPS. It's within that context that the police chief in Fannie Masemola will have to step in, and of course he'll have to give us a sense of what he knew, what he didn't know, why, and what that suggests about the kind of role or handle he has over the police themselves. So let's continue placing then what we're expecting to unfold today as we also look ahead of what the implications may be. As you mentioned, Kani Mapanga has been camping here, I think that's the appropriate term, for the past couple of days, and is with us once again as to start a brand new week. Kenny, before we speak about Fannie Masemola, let's take a couple steps back and take stock of how the first week really has fared at this particular inquiry. Mkhwanazi been in the hot seat for 3 days. What's been your sense of the response that we've seen so far of his testimony?
Indeed, good morning once again to you and to the viewers. Well, essentially we are dealing with quite critical evidence that, if it were found to be true, could really erode public trust, especially in the confidence of our national security as South African citizens. So it is serious. So the expectation with allegations of this nature, where you say that there is an alleged infiltration of a drug cartel in our criminal justice system, and it affects almost every state institution that is supposed to uphold the rule of law. The expectation from South Africans is that the evidence that you bring is going to be of a certain standard. I'm not saying that that is the correct interpretation, but that is what we're getting from South Africans. We get some that state that he has joined the dots, and there are several other witnesses that will continue to, I guess, close the gaps in that journey as we continue to try and find the facts regarding those very serious allegations. But there are some that state that during his time on the stand, there should have been much more evidence, or hardcore evidence, that should have been presented before the commission, given light of the serious kind of allegations that he's making against the criminal justice system.
Right. And we do know that this inquiry is actually divided into 3 parts, and there's going to be a moment, we're told, where evidence is meant to be tested.
Yes, that will be in phase 2 and somewhat phase 3 of the Madlanga Commission. Right now, what you're seeing is his evidence under oath, and of course he's completed that, but he has the understanding that the responsibility is on him to substantiate the evidence. Now, for some of the evidence, you've seen him use WhatsApp exchanges between him and Brown Mokgotsi, or WhatsApp communications between Vusimuzi Kat Matlala and Brown Mokgotsi. And then, of course, there was a text message which will still be tested if that is a legitimate text message to the police minister that was taken from I guess it was a screenshot from the phone of Matlala, and I guess it was a message from Brown Mokgotsi to the police minister, Senzo Mchunu, but that still needs to be texted. So there is evidence where he has exchanges or communication that he can provide to the commission to draw the links between the different individuals who he alleges are operating within a alleged drug cartel or organized crime syndicate. But there are some parts of his evidence, of course, where the evidence is not as clear. So, for example, with the judiciary, the impression when the allegation was first made in that media briefing was that you had, a selection of the judiciary operating within this organized crime syndicate, allegedly. But once you see the evidence, it's limited to a single magistrate and the issuing of bail conditions in a particular matter. Now, the question remains whether if you can draw the conclusion that just because a magistrate gave a bail condition that you may not have favored, may not have understood or liked, that now means that they are in cahoots with an alleged organized crime syndicate. You're going to need a little bit more than just that suspicion for that allegation to be carried through before this commission. So it's evidence of that nature where there are still questions, and of course South Africans are understandably asking, where is the hard proof?
Sure, absolutely. And it's in that context that Fannie Masemola steps in. Help us understand where you reckon he'll be trying to fill the blanks, as it were. I mean, his name has come up. He's apparently, and Dantam Kwanazi said he tried to reach out to him to lay bare some of these claims. What questions do you reckon come up around the personhood of Fannie Masemola?
Well, there's several questions for General Masemola, but they'll probably center mostly around the political killings task team and, of course, the overall operations of the South African Police Services with respect to the Minister of Police and his, participation in their efforts to fight crime in South Africa. With respect to General Kwanazi, I think there are several questions to answer as to whether he received communication from General Kwanazi about the disbandment of the political killings task team and what was his communication to the KZN top cop with regards to that, whether he approved that media briefing of July where he made those allegations public, what he makes of the approach that General Kwanazi used in order to address the threats, which he stated was oncoming towards the criminal justice system. Does he believe that he broke protocol when he made such a decision to go before the nation and reveal this information? And also when he approved that media briefing, allegedly, according to General Kwanazi, did he know that the information that was going to be discussed was going to be of this nature? Or did he think it was just going to be a status update on the work of the political killings task team, because they conduct quite serious work in KZN in fighting political violence, which is quite a prevailing problem in the KZN province? And then, of course, they did some assistance in Gauteng. Did he know the nature of the briefing, or was he also taken by surprise?
Right.
With respect to the now suspended police minister, the minister that's on leave of absence, that is Senzo Mchunu, what did he make of the decision to disband the political killings task team? Was he involved in that decision?
Absolutely. And I think, the list really goes on and on. I have no doubt we'll continue, of course, to place Fannie Masemola's appearance before this particular inquiry, given what is at stake and what we've heard so far. As always, proceedings set to begin at 9:30, and we'll be there till the very last minute.